Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys come back to my channel. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the grandmaster of the saber strike. Now, this will be explaining like my experiences and what went wrong and my advice to actually get through this nightfall. Now, I do use the cheese where you go underneath the map and you scan the warsat underneath the map, and I'll be explaining in good detail on what can go wrong with this cheese and how to actually do it like the best way. Now, there's videos out there where they show you where you need to sword fly, where you can use lion rapids and you can sword fly as a titan, or you can sword fly as a hunter, but I won't be doing that in this video. I won't be sword flying with my titan. I'll swing my sword like once. I mean, I guess it's like kind of good to have a sword on. The reason why I have a sword on is for the overload champions, and you can put disruptive blade on your arm piece to make it so that your sword disrupts overloads, and that's actually pretty good for this nightfall because the overloads, you can stun them, someone else can stun them with a bow, or you can stun them with your arc grenade. So that's another reason why I use Thunder Crash. So I'm going to be using Thunder Crash, and I want to get my super, and I can get my super by one or two ways. I can either go to the moth yards, which you just saw me do, and it's kind of a little risky. You got to make sure you don't die from those ads, or you can go ahead and kill stuff in the Forgotten Shore until you get your super. Now, it's very important to get your super to do this glitch because you need to fly over there using your Thunder Crash. And at the same time, you can also have the exotic on to make your Thunder Crash do double the damage, which is actually very good in certain situations. In certain situations, you won't be using Thunder Crash because it just kill you. Obviously, you know, you use it at your own judgment. Now, to do the glitch, you have to go over into this small cave in the Forgotten Shore and then park your sparrow just like I did. And if you park it exactly like I did and get off, you'll go through the map, and then you spawn your sparrow and go underneath the map just like this. Then you get over to the end of the water, you jump on this rock, then you jump on this rock, and then you go into the load zone. Then once you're in the load zone, you want to go ahead and jump over to this rock over here that I jumped to. Be careful, you can die just like that, and that's a fail, and then you have to restart the whole run. So make sure that you make that jump. I mean, obviously it's a pretty simple jump, but you can choke like me and fail. So I'm just going to like fast forward to a point where I actually get back there, but I figured I'd show you a fail just to show you that like it's not perfect. Just because YouTubers do it, they're not perfect. I bet you they failed like 10 times of the times they tried it and then got it on their 11th try, and that's the one they actually showed in the video. So yeah, for this super, I actually killed the ads to get it, and I don't quite have it, but once you're like pretty close to actually having it, you can go ahead and just go over to the glitch and get in. Now, it might take you a couple of tries to actually set up the angle to get into the wall breach. It might take you a couple of tries, just like it did there, but once you get like the hang of it, you'll get it like first try or second try, or might take you a couple of tries, just like it did for me. And then you just gotta jump up here, go to the load zone again, then you want to jump over to this rock and not die this time. Make sure you line yourself up and make sure you use your glide correctly, and then boom, you got it. And now this is the trickiest kind of part, but really actually it's pretty the easiest part. But your other friends, now what they can do is they were just waiting at the spawn. They can go ahead and go forward. As you guys can see, he's right there, and he's just gonna make the warsat spawn and then not go over there and wait until it lands. Then you just want to jump underneath this rock, and you want to get underneath that barrier, swing your sword once, and then just immediately Thunder Crash. And then you want to Thunder Crash all the way over here. You'll just make it, and then once you're over here, then you want to get underneath the warsat. Your friend's going to go ahead and scan it for you because you can't scan it because you have to be on like solid ground and it won't let you do it. You can use stasis and jump up there and scan it, but obviously then I wouldn't have Thunder Crash and it's just useless. And I suggest that when you're doing this, that you have Wither Horde on. So have a sword, have Wither Horde, and a scout, Wither Horde works very well for the boss room and clearing ads in most of the rooms. And I would have another friend with Wither Horde as well, so I have 2 Wither Hordes and a sword, 2 swords if you want, or you can run Anarchy. I mean, it doesn't really matter, 2 people with Anarchy or 2 Wither Hordes or whatever you decide to actually use. Now, myself and my team, we use 2 Wither Hordes and 2 swords and a scout, and my other friend, he used a scout and a bow and Anarchy. And that way he can stun far away, and I can stun far away with my grenade as well, but I also can stun with my sword. It takes a bit to proc with the sword. If you're swinging the sword, you have to rapidly hit them multiple times, and they sometimes teleport away, and it's kind of a pain. But when they're stunned and you go up there with a sword, it usually stuns locks them, and it'll be pretty easy to do. Now, as you guys can see, I'm just jumping up and down for this warsat to scan it to progress the strike. Now, when you're doing this, jumping up and down, you see that rock right in front of me. Now, a dreg could spawn underneath the map, so be ready. A dreg could spawn there and try to kill you. It doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened to me before, and I've done like many runs of this. I've done like 20 some runs. Then all of a sudden that dreg spawns underneath there and kills me, like on my 15th run, and I'm just like, what the heck, this has never happened before. So just watch out for that and just be aware of that. Don't just be looking at your phone or something like that while you're jumping up and down, because I've done that before and died from that dreg, because they can do a lot of damage on grandmaster. But you just want to keep on jumping up and down until it reaches about 100%. So I'm just going to fast forward here. So once you reach about 100%, then you want to go down towards the bottom of this big platform that you're on, and you'll actually hit a load zone called the mine. And then once you actually load into the mine, then you want to go up front where the door would be to get into the entrance of the mine. Now you have to jump a certain way. You have to do this a certain way, or else you'll load like on top of this barrier. So you want to jump towards the door, all the way towards the door. Then you want to glide backwards, and you don't want to just jump straight down. And I've seen videos where they just go, oh, we'll just go over this door and then you're good. But they don't explain that if you just jump right down and you hit that load zone really fast, if you have good loading, you'll hit it really fast and you'll get stuck outside the map, and then you'll fall off of it and you'll die, and your res will be outside the map, and then you're screwed. You have to restart over because you need everyone for the grandmaster, and it just be a lot harder to two-man it. And to get back in efficiently, you need to jump towards that door, and then once you jump towards that door, you want to pull yourself back to hit that load zone. Because when you jump towards the door, there is no load zone there, and when you go backwards, that's what triggers the load zone. And you want to make sure that you're at the height where you would load into the tunnel. If you're up too high, then you'll spawn on top of the tunnel, and then you'll fall off and you'll die. And it's happened to me before multiple times, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, because sometimes I would drop right down in and it wouldn't load right away and I'd be fine. And other times I would load instantly and I would get stuck on the ceiling. And I would do that over and over again, and the videos don't explain like, oh well, you know, you're supposed to do it this way or that way. They don't explain that the load zone is right there. So you need to jump towards that door, and that's what I found out after like, I don't know, like 10, 15 tries, and I finally figured out that, you know, that's the best way of doing it, and I figured out that that's the load zone, and that's what's happening to me, is sometimes, you know, it would load super fast, and sometimes it would load super slow, and this way is more consistent, because you should never load jumping towards that door, and then once you're at that correct height, you pull yourself back, and load the load zone, and load into the tunnel, and then there you go, you got it, so that you don't die, so you don't have to restart. And then at this point, I'm just in here just shooting the ads and killing the ads, as many as possible, but you don't want to die because your teammates aren't with you at the moment. See, what my teammates are doing is they're not opening the bunker yet, and they're going and killing the champions. You can kill these champions to get more lives, and you also can kill the champions to get platinum at the end. And there's 3 champions. All the other ads despawn, and if they open the bunker, then what will happen is they'll despawn and you probably won't get platinum for that. So what they're doing right now is actually killing the 3 champions that are out there. We get more lives and we get that platinum. And I can't actually help them because if I open the bunker, then they'll despawn. So my 2 friends have to kill the champions on their own, so I'm just in the next room killing stuff. Now, just make sure you don't die, because I'm pretty sure if you die in this room ahead of your friends, then what will happen is it will actually wipe you and you'll have to be sent back to orbit. So you can either A, wait for your friends, or B, be risky like me and just try to kill as many things as you can. But it's very hard to not die because they've got snipers, and to make sure they have sniper resistance on and maybe arc resistance as well, and have high resilience so you can take one of those sniper shots and back up into your wall. And you just want to creep out, open the door, and then creep back in. And then my other 2 friends were Titans. Now you don't need Titans necessarily to do this Grandmaster, but they were using Ursas and using the banner shield, 2 of them, so that they could keep on popping Ursas over and over again. Now it's possible to do it with Warlocks, Hunters, and all other classes, but you need like that Titan for the warsat glitch. I mean, you don't really need it. You could use a Hunter and Swordfly, but like I said, sword flying, I'm not very good at it, and you can drop, and if you die once, then you're it. Like, if you mess up once, you're screwed. And I like the Thunder Crash because it just seems more consistent, less chance of me dying. So at this point, we just keep on bannering shield and keep on doing this and keep on trucking along. But if you're actually doing this without Titans, then you can stand at the back door and keep opening it and then shooting and then letting it close, opening, shooting, and then let it close, kill as many ads, and then recover your health. And that's probably the best way to do it. There might be other guides to do it, maybe more riskier, but it is pretty easy to die out here. So I'm just gonna let the rest of the gameplay play out, and when we get to a certain checkpoint, I'm gonna explain this next part. So when you kill all the ads and everything's dead, then pick up all the ammo, pick up all your orbs, everything that you need, and then open that vent that you need to shoot, and then one person can shoot it from very far away, and then what you can do is just go back in the hallway, and what will actually happen is 2 overload champions will spawn, and this is where my surge grenade comes in handy for the mod, for the artifact, to have the arc disruptor on, so when you throw the grenade, it'll actually disrupt the champions, and it'll disrupt both of them. They'll spawn right in this middle and tell them to shoot it, so then you just shoot your wither horde and then throw your grenade to disrupt them, and then just kill them with your disrupting sword. And that part is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to actually do, and they die every time. But when we first did it, we didn't know that they spawn there. But then after that, then you just use your wither horde to clear these ads, and then you're on to the next step. Alright, so this part could be pretty tricky to do, and I've died on this part multiple times before, and many runs have died because of this area, and it can be very tricky because they keep on spawning over and over again, and you can die from these electrical fields. If you touch it once, you're dead. Now my friend Anarchy's in the middle, and then my friend in the back kills the stuff with Wither Horde, and he also banners. So I'm going to pick up this arc charge, then run to him, and then once I get in the middle there, I'm going to drop a Wither Horde right at my feet, drop the orb, pick it back up, and wait for the electrical field to pass, then go, and then going to get in the middle part again, do the same thing, drop a Wither Horde, then pick it up, and then wait for it to pass and go, and then put it in. And that's probably the best way to do it. You can do other methods like sliding with the bomb and getting through it all, but this way it seemed more efficient with me, and it seemed to work the best. And once you get past this part, I mean, the rest is pretty easy except for the one part up ahead where there's like 3 overloads and you need to kill them all, and it kind of sucks. This room, you know, just take your time, shoot a whole bunch of Wither Horde. Wither Horde works very well for this strike. I mean, it kills a lot of ads, and it does a lot of AoE damage, so obviously I would have Wither Horde, 1 person with Anarchy, 2 people with Wither Horde. It really works very well, and it's very well on the boss too, so it's like a win-win-win, because it works well in multiple areas. So I'm just going to let the gameplay play out now, and when we get to those 3 overloads, I'll explain kind of what we did. So when you get to this part, the overloads kind of stay together, and if you can get a grenade off and stun all three of them, like right now there was all three of them together, but one of them got away, and you can go ahead and just swing your sword around and thunder crash and maybe kill them all. But I actually missed the second one. I guess he was probably at like a sliver of health and he didn't die, but killing one is good. At least kill one, because if you at least kill one, then, you know, now you only have two to deal with. And this is where Ursa's comes in handy when you do that, because when you die, then you can have someone pop Ursa's and then go and get you. And then once I'm up, then we can kill these champions, but this part can be kind of difficult, but once you get the hang of it, then, you know, you can do this part pretty easily. And then it's just the boss room fight,